including 89 ESHI units and 231 regular low-income units. It's a heavily subsidized project. There's 54 million HFA new construction program loan, 19 million HFA middle income housing program loan, 17.8 million in federal housing trust fund loan, 101 million in federal low income housing tax credits, 5.3 million in state low income housing tax credits. And there's a $1.6 million annual ESHI rent subsidies pursuant to a contract in the New York State Department of Health and Catholic Charities. And there's a full 420C real estate tax exemption. It's being developed by Monadnock, CB Emmanuel, and Catholic Charities. The insured loan amount is $111,000 per unit, which equals 14% of the project total development cost of $789,000 per unit.
This was approved by HFA last month.
So it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It remains as vital as ever. Good project.
Oh, there it is.
Big
I found it.
project. Yeah.
No, it's on middle. I found middle.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
It's a typo.
It's a typo. I knew I wasn't making it up. Any questions for Mike on the next, this next phase of Vital Brooklyn? Oh, all right, I think we're good.
Okay,
If everybody's okay with it, let's
now
go.
before SONYMA Mortgage Insurance Committee and the Senate that will transmit in connection with this item, assuming the first and second previously entered for the Mortgage Insurance Committee and the SONYMA Board, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried and the resolution is adopted.
And it is exactly 12 o'clock.
How about that?
That's it.
Did,
Yeah.
well, I have a few ministerial items, if you'll bear with me. The next three items are information items. We got to take care of this. Just take a second. They're listed as items 13 through 15 in the materials on the agenda. We have the current agency procurements in the lobbying law restricted period. The MIF, Mortgage Insurance Fund Activity Report for the months of September and October. Thank you, Mike, for that. Always keeping us up to date. And the quarterly swap reports for the periods ending April 30th, 2023, July 31st.
Can we have a discussion of that
2023.
again?
And there was some discussion of the swap reports earlier.
Mark
Thank
is here.
Mark is really good at explaining that. We're grateful to him for his help, but I will say that there's no further business for the SONYMA Board. Thank you for all your travels and travails to
Move
get
to
here.
adjourn.
And sorry that we didn't have a longer, more substantial.
Wait, so I got a question for you. Though.
Sure.
What is it, the Kayamite?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, so.
Yeah.
What?
What is it? K-Mite? Okay. K-Mite Group, where does that stand now since the meeting was postponed for this month on that proposal?
It's for HFA.
And it was
Yes.
approved by HFA at today's meeting.
It was approved.
Yes, we had sent it to you, to the SONYMA Board.
Yep, I got it. And that proposal went through for the full of them doing the study?
Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully it won't take a year, but yes, 120 for the year.
That's my concern, is that
It'll take too long.
that it will be a year.
Well, it's an extensive amount of research. They're going to be interviewing MWBEs, talking to ESD. It can take that much time to get it right because everyone's at different stages. Just went to Syracuse last week, talked to BIPOC firms, and there's such a range of business plans. Some MWBEs are dependent on land banks and are trying to secure in-rent properties, while others are developing like 200-unit projects. So I think we want to make sure that we're doing a job of interviewing everyone and creating a program that really is responding to the community and their needs. Hopefully it won't take a year.
Yeah. Because my concern is when we do projects like there always has to be a study done. Like we had ESDN last month. I reviewed their financial statements for the last 5 years, 6 years, took me an hour. So and doing the interviews as far as is there a need? We already know there's a need. We already know there needs to be education. We already know there needs to be outreach. So, and then the one we did on Long Island was a $7,500 report on the economic status across Long Island. That took 3 months, 4 months to do. So I don't want to get bogged down. We've been here a year. We're going to wait another year for a study to come through, and then we're going to wait another year to actually implement it.
That's not the plan. The
Okay.
year is to do the interviews and develop the curriculum so
Mhm.
that we're able to get started next year. The goal is to create a technical assistance program about how to do business with HCR
Mhm.
and then push them into our pipeline and allow them to take advantage of the 9% set aside for MWBEs in the 2024 funding round. So our goal is to try to get them into our pipeline and have them be more successful. Because what we're seeing is that people are coming in and their applications are not passing threshold, and we want to get at what's happening.
And then the other
We have
part,
2 more minutes.
there you go. See, I got 1 minute. I'll split it with you.
James had one other comment.
You can have a-
James gets the final word and then Dinah will close the proceedings.
All right. Then the other part was in the conversation that I was having with Alex about looking at the relationships between the MWBEs and the actual partners that we had, whether or not there is any interaction between the two. Are there families that own other subsidiary MWBE businesses, or is there any action? And to my knowledge, nobody has ever looked at that before. So I want to be able to have in there some type of funding where we do a review of whether or not interaction between the two.
So we rely on ESD
Mhm.
to determine or to relay the certification on a group. We can't challenge that, but if we were aware of any kind of discrepancies, we always flag it for ESD. But if we had more staff, we could do periodic audits of our subcontractors, but we just don't have the capability to do that at this time. But we definitely have participated when we are made aware or there are questions about someone's validity of their certification, we flag it for ESD. And we actually just participated in an investigation with the Queens DA and the Manhattan DA's office. We provided technical expertise and testimony in their case where they actually convicted some MWBEs or for misrepresenting their work. They said they were carpenters when they really were consultants and they did not do the work. And so the general contractor filed incorrect statements around utilization. And then when we were made aware of that also, we enhanced the language in our agreements. So it's very clear that we don't tolerate that and it could be a reason for us to pull a contract as well and we would not work with them again.
That's very good.
It may be a different issue, James, but I, with my time at ESD, remember a concern around, family issues, you would use the word family, and I'll just make a very generic example, but the ESD and the team there have to be very mindful of, which is when, let's say, a family construction company, I'm going to make this up, in Rochester, has been run by the dad, right, and the grandfather and so on, and they decide to put it in the hands of a daughter and get the daughter certified as a women-owned business. Now, if you're gonna, that's, then all of a sudden, she's coming from a successful historic firm, getting contracts that are meant to have, for supplier diversity purposes and MW. And this is, so I'm talking more about that, I saw a couple situations where I thought, I wonder what is happening. That now it's a woman-owned business, was it always? And is it legit? Like, and how did they set up a separate corporation and pass assets to the other corporation? Is it an LLC? It's just, this is why, I think in
It's a long time.
defense of our checking that out, because the instance, I'm totally making this up as an example. It's not a real case, but it happens. And the issue is if they didn't do that, they never, first of all, they'd be a majority firm, right? But also from an economic standpoint, what if it's a $10 million company, right? And they wouldn't, or if they asked, they would never pass the personal net worth test.
Right.
That threshold, you're supposed to be not only a women or minority owned business, but a small one, relatively small one. And that's why recertification of personal net worth.
I've had that happen to me at NIREC networking events. A white man came up to me and said, hey, I had the WBE title company
Right.
and I flagged it for EST.
Right.
The same.
Right. So when you said a family thing, I'm like, this is giving me flashbacks,
Yeah.
you know?
So that was the other thing too, because a huge majority of property is owned on Long Island, especially in Suffolk County, it's Catholic charities.
Yeah.
But if you go to sue one, you can't. Up in the 15 different business and stuff organizations, so they're not considered Catholic charities.
Right. Right.
And then the other thing is, when quorum is closed, all of the businesses are dead.
No,
Yeah, there isn't one
That's
business
sad.
that survived.
that's too bad. When quorum. I think I was there with Commissioner Towns.
God, that's a while ago.
Yeah, well, a while ago that I was at ISD, but I remember that project. It
Yes.
had a lot of potential. And quorum has had a tough time.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Sorry to hear that. Well, you know what? They'll be back looking for more money.
There you go.
Somebody will get that site and come back and try it again.
That's the heads up.
Back to, let's give it another go. There might have been, the retail component there might have just never had the density. So competitive. I mean, Long Island Strip, look at Strip Center, Strip Mall, go to Smithtown, go around, go to some areas around there. And this is so, I don't say overdeveloped, but it's the retail, strip mall, shopping center, that kind of retail is really competitive.
It's off the main road
Right.
and along that strip of Middle Country Road, it is so redundant of businesses.
Yep.
You have 15 to 20 dry cleaners.
Why go to this Payless if you can go to the other Payless? Why go to this
Yeah.
Burger King? It's true. That's, well, that's our consumer market economy.
Better than
It's
in Hamlet, I
competitive.
See a lot of empty
It's competitive, but
storefronts.
here where the state subsidized the redevelopment of this, former shopping center, movie complex and all that.
Then in
it is.
Manhattan, you just see a lot of empty storefronts.
We gotta go.
Okay, all right, let me take it away. Assuming the first and second previously entered for Sunny May, all in favor of adjourning,
So moved.
please by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion is
Aye.
carried. The Sunny May meeting is adjourned.
Diana, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Roseanne and the team. Everybody have a nice Thanksgiving. I feel a little strange. It's like, am I really saying that? Yes, it's November and we're not gonna see each other till December. And I didn't say this before, but for the record, Professor Ford reached out to me and said he couldn't make the meeting. He's out of town today. And I should have shared that with you at the beginning of the meeting. I forgot. But we've been texting and he couldn't make it. He sends his regards and he'll be here in December.
Super. Where else will we?
All right. Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, it was a little rushed, but the project's great. Projects are good.
Take care, everybody.
You know?
In between
Thank you, Dave.
people running over deer and
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
police foot chases down Lexington.
Oh. What says up after that?
It was a long period of sitting. Thank you, Cal.